Register Simcoe identity.
Okay, folks, we are back for Session 3, Part 3, Episode 3, whatever we want to call this, of the Clan Wolf portion of Mechwarrior 2. So we are at, this is, I believe, the third mission, codenamed Blade Splint. So let us go and check out the ready room. What's in the mech lab?
Jenner.
So what do we got? Just SRMs, eh? Let's see what the mission is. Alright, intelligence suspects the Falcon's 10th Provisional Garrison, anticipating our attack, has moved their headquarters to a hidden site within the city of Salin, near the Nalon spaceport. If the 10th HQ was indeed moved to the area, they will most likely have modified the city's normal plasma power converter to handle cryoplasma. So mission codename is Blade Splint. We are on planet Zodermere. Terrain is sparse urban, and it is dusk, so you are to enter the area, follow the nav sequence through the structures, and look for the city's power converter, recognizable by a bright plasma flow. Inspect it to see if it has in fact been modified for cryoplasma conversion. If it has, destroy it. Boom, boom, boom. So, doesn't look like we have to destroy anyone, so maybe we'll try the missile boat. Missile boat primary configuration of that Jenner. Let's see what the situation is. The Crusaders may be your philosophical kin, but they are not wolves. You will hate the Inner Sphere because of our teachings. We are told that they are below us, yet on every front they have adapted and are now a match for most of the clans. Perhaps, before we assault them again, we should study their ways of war, lest we run the risk of being defeated just as the Falcons, your philosophical leaders, were. Star Colonel Ulrich Kerensky addressing the 11th Wolf regulars before the drop to Zodermere. Bravo Star is encountering resistance along its western flank, Star Captain. Vlad scanned his Timberwolf's tactical display and smiled grimly. Like the cowards they were, the Stravag Jade Falcons were disappearing into the narrow alleys between the warehouses near the Nalon spaceport. Apparently, they believed a few flimsy buildings would protect them from the wrath of the wolf. Vlad and his unit intended to teach them otherwise. As if to prove his point, Vlad lined up his sights on a fleeing Jade Falcon mech and fired his pulse laser into the back of the machine, just as it reached the dubious shelter of a large warehouse. The enemy mech shuddered and collapsed, breaking down the building's walls. A huge fireball erupted into the air as the explosion of the dying mech set off the building's highly combustible contents. Vlad's smile disappeared. Cursing, he turned his Timberwolf toward the enemy and barked out orders over his comlink. Recon Force to coordinates 007-9A. Engage all Falcon units, but do not pursue the enemy into the warehouses. I repeat, do not pursue. If they want us dead, my wolves, they will have to come and get us. Situation. On September 30th, 3057, Star Colonel Ulrich Kerensky led his newly created Tau Galaxy in an assault on the Jade Falcon planet of Zodermere. All of the young and impressionable warriors in Tau Galaxy were Crusaders by inclination, but they were also wolves by blood, and were therefore bound by clan honor and tradition to follow their former Ilkhan in a fight to the death against their fellow Crusaders in Clan Jade Falcon. Star Captain Vladimir, a prominent Crusader chosen as Ulrich's second-in-command, challenged the legitimacy of Ulrich's orders along with many other young wolves, but to no avail. Ulrich had acted within his rights as a Star Colonel in placing the Wolf Crusaders under his own command and transferring warriors with Warden sympathies to the command of Sukhon Felon Ward. By setting Crusader against Crusader, Ulrich hoped to cripple not only the Jade Falcon enemy, but the entire Crusader movement within the clans. Ulrich chose his first target well. A week before the beginning of the trial of refusal, he had discovered that the Falcons were converting one of Zodermere's orbital chemical engineering facilities into a small factory for dropship parts. An orbital repair facility so close to the truce line would allow the Falcons to attack deep inside the Inner Sphere without being hamstrung by a long wait for replacement dropship parts from the clan homeworlds. The Falcon's 10th Provisional Garrison, assigned to defend the factory against Inner Sphere raiding parties, had stationed the bulk of its forces near the Nylon spaceport in the seaside city of Salin. A single star of mechs and 2 aerospace stars remained to defend the orbital facility. Ulrich planned a strategy that would allow him to destroy both the facility and the 10th Garrison cluster. Before opening the bidding for the Zodermere assault, Ulrich ordered Star Commodore Radek to issue a bachal to the forces defending the orbital facility once the Clan Wolf forces bid to attack the planet itself were engaged in battle. The bulk of the Falcon forces fighting the Wolves, the troops defending the orbital facility would be left without reinforcements and would prove easy pickings for Radek's warriors. So that's actually a bit of an interesting little story here. And, if you jump into kind of a lot of the Mechwarrior canon and Mechwarrior lore. A lot of the stuff in this game is considered apocryphal, so it's not really within official Battletech canon, but they're still telling a good story here. And I might want to place this in sort of a time frame. So this Refusal War is basically the initial clan invasion of the Inner Sphere happened, and then there was a sort of a battle. The Inner Sphere groups, I guess, I think with the assistance of the Wardens of Clan Wolf, issued a bachal, a battle challenge, for basically the cessation of the invasion, and that took place on the planet of Tukayid. So there was a battle there, the clans lost, and that caused them to not be able to invade, to basically halt the invasion of the Inner Sphere, I believe for 10 years. And this game is basically taking place 10 years after the Battle of Tukayid. So, yeah, this is sort of the final sort of straw that, will stop the clan invasion from continuing. And, yeah, I mean, there's a lot more to it than that. Clan Wolf is also split into two factions. There's a Crusader version of part of Clan Wolf and a Warden part of Clan Wolf. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of backstory kind of behind all this stuff. But anyways, let's get to the mission. So I am actually going to try it with this default configuration Jenner, even though I'm not sure a whole bunch of SRMs are the best way to go about this. But you know what? Let's give it a go.
Planet Solar Ambient temperature 48.43 degrees. Local time is 22:46:27 GST. All systems nominal.
Is it F3? Yes.
Link established.
Okay, cool. That's handy. All right, let's get moving. There's a Kit Fox. So I'm in a pretty fast mech. So I've got SRMs and Streak SRMs. So Streak SRMs lock, and regular SRMs do not. So this guy's pretty quick. There's quite a few of them here. Ugh. Yeah, this might not be the best.
Group fire engaged.
Go on, reload. Oh, and all of my missiles are destroyed. That's not a good. And I can't destroy anything, so let's abort. So.
Mission failed.
So, I'm just going to replay that, and I might... Let's exit. Let's hit the mech lab, so... Yeah. Next variant. LRM-5 and 2 pulse lasers. Full whack of pulse lasers. Small. What about the laser boat? What do we think? Yeah, let's do this guy. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. So let's try that again. I figured that SRM solution. It's not the way I like to play.
Ambient temperature 48.43 degrees. Local time is 22:46:27 GST. All systems nominal.
I've got jump jets. You can't really do death from above in this game. So let's slow down a little. So he's got a large laser, so he's got range on me.
fire engaged.
There we go.
Heat level critical. Shutdown sequence initiated. Shutdown sequence overridden. Heat level critical.
It's all about picking off those legs.
Enemy mech destroyed. Enemy mech destroyed.
Where are you going there, buddy? He's running. Let's catch up. Well, hopefully I don't get into too much trouble. I am closing, but not very fast. You know what? I don't care. It's not part of the mission objectives. He may turn around and bite me in the butt, but we'll see. Doing pretty well, damage-wise at the very least.
Nav Alpha reached.
I like they make you, like, go down the street. Helicopter, eh?
Satellite link established. Enemy power-up detected.
Oh, behind.
Enemy power-up detected.
Another Jenner. Stormcrow.
Level critical. Shutdown sequence initiated. Shutdown sequence overridden. Enemy mech destroyed. Chain fire engaged. Heat level critical.
Oh, crap.
Enemy mech destroyed. Enemy power-up detected.
Freaking helicopter. All right. Little slower. Don't like that all this guy's weapons are in the in the side torsos.
Nav Beta reached.
So I think I saw something. F12. Recon power converter and destroy power converter. 19 minutes left. Summoner, oh geez. So I definitely thought when I was here I saw something that looked a lot like it could be a power converter, and these guys are already shooting at me, which I don't like. Ugh. Ugh. Oh, these guys are closing real good. Thought it was back around nav beta. I saw like a shiny thing that looked like a power. Looked like a there, that thing.
Critical target. Power converter. Inspected. Power converter is active.
Come on, power converter, blow up.
Primary objective. Destroy power converter. Successful. Proceed to dust-off zone for extraction.
All right, let's get rolling. This guy's fast. I am not taking on heavy mechs. Rear camera. Yeah, there is no way. Dust off at nav delta. Okay, well I can hit. Whoa, PPC. PPC. I guess I'm a little bit damaged in the legs. No, so why am I going slower? I was going like 159 before. Ooh. Yeah. Those PPCs are no fun. Anyways, I'm putting distance between me and them. I'm sure some hardcores would try and take those guys on, not in a little semi-damaged Jenner with 3 lasers instead of 6. At least I think I'm out of range of those PPCs now. PPCs scare the hell out of me. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah! There's my dropship. Oh, safety. Safety and security. Thank you, God. I like how my rear camera is, like, damaged. Messing up the RGB color.
Nav Delta reached mission successful.
Oh, that one was, that one got a little hairy, as recon missions go. So the power converter was inspected and destroyed. The city has become useless to the enemy as a base of operations. Our 2nd Wolf Cavaliers are busy laying waste to the 10th. So it's a boom, 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 boom. Did a bunch of stuff. Medium difficulty. This one's kind of fun. Star underweight bonus. So because I went with a Jenner, which is a lighter mech, it does give you a bonus for not using the heaviest mech that you're allowed to use. Hit percentage crappy, but got honor, blah, blah, blah. The enemy is vanquished. The Keshik has noticed your excellence in the field. I believe the Keshik is sort of the leadership of the clan, the admiralty, if you will. Okay, so it took 3 elementos. Sorry, elementos. It took 3 elementals to lift the ferrosteel girder that had trapped Mechwarrior Bozarth's Viper. The Mechwarrior was unconscious inside the partially crushed cockpit, but Bozarth had been lucky. He had survived his first test by fire and would soon be fit to pilot a battle mech once again. Almost a third of the 11th Wolf's regulars had not fared so well. The Wolves had won the day, but at a staggering cost. The 11th Regulars had lost more than 40% of their mechs, the 21st Battle Cluster had suffered 32% casualties, and the 4th Striker Cluster had lost 39% of its troops. The Technicians would need at least 2 weeks of constant work to bring the units back to an acceptable 70% readiness level. Star Colonel Ulrich Kerensky's victory on the southern continent had proved less costly. The 2nd Wolf Cavaliers sustained only 15% equipment loss and 3% casualties. The assault on the orbital facility was another Wolf victory. Star Commodore Radix Bachal took the 10th commander completely by surprise. He had not included the facility in the original bidding because he had believed that the 10th itself was the Wolf's sole target. This oversight cost the Falcon commander his chance to reinforce the facility, and Radix forces swiftly overwhelmed the 3 defending Falcon stars. So that's sort of the interesting thing about these Bachal's battle challenges is, if you know a lot about or anything, some stuff about the clans, the way they fight is they offer these battle challenges, and there's like this bidding process where you say, each side sort of says, well, I bid, to, all my mechs. And then the other side says, okay, well, I'll counter with just, one, whatever it is, one trinary, one binary, one star. So, maybe, and it might get down to like 5 mechs versus, 3 mechs and some aerospace fighters or something. So the facility commander didn't bid his facility, which probably was, could have done with some reinforcing and probably had some mounted weapons, and he couldn't use those in the fight. So it's sort of an interesting kind of very formalized, as I said in the last episode, very, very formalized process of battle that the clans go through, which works really well if both sides agree. And I know sometimes when they fought the Inner Sphere, that didn't quite fly. But clan to clan, Bachal, stick to the honor, all that noise. Okay, well, that was fun. We definitely have time for another. What do they got me in this time? I do enjoy a Mad Dog, and I do enjoy the primary config, I believe. I can switch mechs to, I can go up to 65 tons. Mad Dog is 60. I don't know. I like this guy. This is a Mad Dog / Vulture by the Inner Sphere nomenclature. So let's see. Pulse Laser, LRM 20s, whack of SRMs, and 1 PPC, and it'll be 2X. That's an auto AC. That's an autocannon. So an LBX autocannon is actually interesting. So a regular autocannon fires, big shells, big damage. An LBX autocannon is actually more like a shotgun. So it fires like a buckshot kind of a thing. So more area of effect damage. 2 Gauss rifles. Wow. Yeah, I like primary config. I like those LRM 20s are murder. Okay. So this will be mission 4. Yes. Temper Edge. So the Falcon's powerful 305th Assault Cluster has pushed far into the forests of Findley Province on Baker 3's southern continent, Loa. Our 341st Assault has countered and engaged. During the enemy drop, a modified Tarantula T5 reconnaissance variant was able to successfully intercept and decode a transmission that contains a list of intended enemy attack corridors. The T5 was able to make it to the cover of the snow-blanketed Donner Rift. So, mission codenamed Temper Edge on Baker 3. We're in a snowy pass and it is dawn. The T5 is in the field at Navro, a wounded target of enemy artillery. You must escort a repair vehicle to the site, then assist the T5. Defend him and the repair vehicle until repairs are complete. Then you must escort the T5 to Nav Sigma for dust off. This sounds miserable. All right. So, outside the cockpit of Star Colonel Ramon Sender's Gargoyle, the waters of Baker 3's hot springs bubbled, but he did not notice. Other things occupied his mind, like the rising heat in his mech, the precarious footing provided by the hardened layers of mud and lime underfoot, and the odd branches of petrified wood that broke off the long submerged trees as the 341st Assault Cluster marched along the bottom of the Baker River. Sender checked his heat display once again. The computer painted a solid line that ran from green through yellow and just into the red area of the computer screen. Sender cleared his mind. One way or another, none of it would matter in a minute. Sender looked over his left, where Con Natasha Kerensky's Direwolf kept up with his Gargoyle stride for stride. Sender could not help but grin to himself as his mech's cockpit broke the surface of the river It wasn't just the thought of being out of the boiling river that brought a smile to his unshaven face. It was the anticipation of combat and the adrenaline it sent pumping through his veins. In the distance, he spotted the communications dish of the Falcon Command Center. In his excitement, he almost missed the Falcon Kit Fox that wheeled and stood watching as the 341st Assault Cluster began to rise out of the river, the hot metal skins of their mechs emitting clouds of steam. Without thinking, Sender raised his gargoyle's right arm. A bright blue flash arced from the mech's arm and hit the head of the Kit Fox and exploded. This then Sender opened a channel to Natasha. You know he has broadcast a warning. Natasha Kerensky answered the Star Colonel's concern by firing her Widowmaker's autocannon at a Falcon Adder that had just emerged from a clump of trees. The depleted uranium shells tore into the smaller mech's torso, cut through its myomere muscle bundles, twisted and blackened the internal structure and fusion engine, and neatly opened its back before splintering an oak tree that stood 30 meters behind the remains of the Kit Fox. A dark plume of smoke rose from the Adder. I want them to come, Khan Natasha said. I want all of them to feel how cold hell can be. Whoa. I believe this is Khan Natasha Kerensky, also known, I can't remember if she's known as the Black Widow or Widowmaker or something. I think she's the Black Widow. Anyways, so situation. For years, Baker 3's hot springs and lush forest had made it a favorite recreation spot for merchants traveling through the area. These same geographical features that had been a source of pleasure for many would spell death for the Jade Falcon's Erie cluster, thanks to Natasha Kerensky's daring battle plan. The Wolf 341st Assault Galaxy landed 60 miles south of the Falcon Command Center at the edge of Loa, Baker 3's southern continent. With the purple Yelburnik Ocean at their backs, the Wolves split up. Half the force made its way up into Loa's dense forest to seek out and destroy Jade Falcon's patrols. Meanwhile, the remaining wolf mechs entered the hot spring-fed waters of the Baker River and began a slow march along its bottom. With the superheated water of the river masking the mech's heat signatures, Khan Natasha hoped to outflank the Falcons and surprise them. Okay, so they're doing that, and I am going to find this T5 unit, and I've got to defend it. Huzzah.
Planet Baker 3. Ambient temperature 26.67 degrees. Local time is 14:24:37 GST. All systems nominal. Group fire engaged.
It sure is. F is friendly. So there's the tarantula, there's the repair vehicle. Kit Fox. So I'm going to try and stick close here. And a Jenner. This is the guy.
Reached.
Oh, look at you being all fancy. So he should.
Heat level critical. Enemy mech destroyed.
Yeah, come on.
Shutdown sequence initiated. Shutdown sequence overridden. Beat level critical. Shutdown sequence initiated. Shutdown sequence overridden. Enemy mech destroyed. Heat level critical. Heat level critical. Enemy mech destroyed. Enemy power-up detected.
Let's get those LRMs going. So far, so good.
Enemy mech destroyed.
I could live with that. I'm gonna run out of LRMs soon, though. Come on, reload, reload, reload. Pick off with my large lasers, which have good range. I love pulse lasers.
Heat level critical. Heat level critical. Shutdown sequence initiated. Shutdown sequence overridden. Heat level critical. Enemy mech destroyed.
Fortunately, I am once again, as in the last run through, slightly sick. Luckily, these guys are still in good shape. Enemy power-up detected. Dum 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 da da. Love the music in this game. It is so good. I used to just pop this CD into my CD player, skip track 1, because that was just like, and then you know, just totally listen to all these tracks. So good. And the track names, if I'm not mistaken, are actually just named after the missions. So I believe, I can't remember. So the campaign on both sides is different. So I believe it's all the same mission names, all the same planets, blah blah blah. But the actual missions themselves are different. You guys can't actually see it because the camera is angled that way. But I'm playing it sort of, like I said in the last episode, this mouse and keyboard orientation, and I'm using the arrow keys. Actually, you know, move your mech around and do the up and down, which you can also do with the mouse. But I'm using the arrow keys with I'm controlling the arrow keys with my left hand, and I'm doing the other controls, the mouse and the other controls with my right hand. So on the keyboard, I'm actually like this, which is sort of odd. And I'm sure there's a better way to do it than that, but I don't know. It seems to be working so far. Ah, there we go.
Detected. Enemy power-up detected.
Kit Fox I should be able to take out with my missiles. That should be a one-shotter with the LRMs. Oh, but there's 3 this time.
Enemy mech destroyed.
Oh, not in range.
Enemy mech destroyed.
And you'll just be, we're close in now.
Heat level critical. Shutdown sequence initiated. Shutdown sequence overridden.
How are you running away? No, thank you.
Enemy mech destroyed. Secondary objective. Destroy all enemy mech units. Successful.
Okay. That means these guys must also almost be done. Oh, I could go for a drink of water. Anyways, no time for that. I'm a Mechwarrior. Dum, bum, 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 bum. also look that way. And there's also like a center torso to legs, center legs to torso. There's a lot of controls that, frankly, there's just too many buttons, so you don't really need most of them. But situationally, if you get really good at this game, I could see you using them.
External camera engaged.
Like I'm just sort of patrolling. No enemy power-ups. Nothing going on over here.
Incoming message. T5 unit has been repaired. Proceed to nav, Sigma, or dust-off. Sensors indicate friendly dropship has entered atmosphere.
Okay.
ETA dropship, 1 minute.
And now a million bad guys show up. No, this game isn't really like that as far as I can tell.
ETA dropship, 30 seconds. Nav, Sigma, reached. External camera engaged.
Should be a dropship around here somewhere.
Sensors indicate arrival
There we
of
go.
reinforcements. Primary objective, defend T5 reconnaissance unit. Successful.
Yay!
Mission successful.
Success. All right, so the T5 was safely returned to Cluster Command. The data was successfully interpreted, and the mission was successful. Yay! I was only 5 tons under the star underweight bonus. So, armed with the knowledge of the enemy's intended attack corridors, the 341st was able to execute an ambush instrumental in decimating the Falcon's 305th. Your honorable victory in the field is noted. The Kishik is pleased. So, in the aftermath, the battle on Baker 3 proved yet another stunning success for the Wolf Clan. In the end, the Wolf forces suffered only 21% losses, while the Jade Falcons suffered 98% losses. Unfortunately for the Wolves, the Mechwarriors of every lost Wolf battle mech were killed. For the Falcons, the battle seemed lost almost from the start. Star Colonel Buhalin sent numerous patrols from the Falcon's 305th Assault Cluster to destroy the Wolf mechs in Loa's Forest, but none had any discernible success against the Wolves, who employed hit-and-run tactics to great effect. The forest's dense vegetation severely even limited the Falcons' ability to target the Wolves, and eventually the mechs of the 305th, armed almost exclusively with ballistic weapons, found themselves low on ammunition. In growing frustration, Buhalin sent aerospace fighters after the Wolf mechs, as well as for more Falcon battle mechs, until his forces were stretched across the continent and his command center woefully underdefended. At that point, the second Wolf force emerged from points along the Baker River and struck at the Falcon command center and the undefended flank of the 305th. 50 Falcon Omnimex and 27 fighters were destroyed by the Wolves that day. Only 2 points of Falcon Elementals managed to make it back to the landing zone for extraction. So, Baker 3, not a good situation for Clan Jade Falcon. Good job, Clan Wolf. Okay, so I think that will do for this part. I think we will be back next week with, looks like we're averaging 2 missions. We are doing 2 missions. That seems to be pretty reasonable. And yeah, so that's that for the time being. Thanks, everybody.